Okay, this is going to be a review of the Sire S3. I'll start with some music and let you hear it. The introduction to the Sire. I'm just going to put it on clean so I can show you some clean sounds on it in a minute, and then go through what I think of it. The Sire S3 Larry Carlton model comes in at about £370 or $390 if you're in the States, and it's, well, you can hear what it sounds like. That was quite a heavily distorted tone. I'll put some on with it clean in a bit, and somewhere in the middle. It has some faults. I mean, if you look at the cavity at the back, the tremolo cavity, it's patchy the way it's dug out. It's not like, it's not clean, but it's got a cover at the back, so you don't see that. But if you took this off, you would see that it's sort of, the edges are not straight, they're all looped around, and it's, apart from that, it's finished quite well. But you know, what do you expect for $399 or £370? It's not going to be a direct comparison with something like a Sire. I mean, I use a Sire Modern, as you probably know. When I go out and do gigs, I use that most of the time, or a Gibson, a Les Paul, or 335 sometimes, or even an SG. But my go-to guitar is the Sire Modern because it just does everything. And but you've got to bear in mind, I bought it a couple of years ago, and it was just under £3,000 then. It's now gone up to about 3.5 or 3.7, the same equivalent model. So you know, for every £100 you spend on this, you spend £1,000 on a Sire. Now, what you get with a Sire is a massively top quality instrument. You know, there is no design flaws. Everything works perfectly. It's got a Goto 510 trem, and it stay in tune forever. And it is a tremendous guitar. But I wanted something. I got this because I wanted something where I could go out and do little pub gigs, which weren't. I didn't want to be precious about somebody walking off with a guitar and stuff like that. And you probably know what I've said this before. I don't get on with Strats very well. But let's do a certain thing, because this is basically nearer to a Strat than a Super Strat, which is what a Sire is like. But if I was doing a comparison with this and Mexican Fender Player Series Strats, this would probably win hands down, because when you get a Player Series Strat, I mean the trem system, for instance, it just stays in tune. It's modelled on a Goto 510, I think, you know, the trem system, and it just works perfectly. It returns to pitch. When I got it, it comes with a fairly high action. Well, if you're going to play sort of, it's all right for blues, but if you were going to play sort of fusion or anything like that, then it needed to be lowered. Now, I always set my own guitars up, so it took me a while, a day, of sitting there and messing around, taking the action down, making sure the intonation was perfect. But let's go in, just talk about the intonation. This came with perfect intonation. I mean, I didn't even get that on a Sire. I had to just do the, all the tests up here. But this is just, it is, even when you meter it, it's just absolutely perfect at 12 and 24th, where the 24th fret would be, which was there. It's perfectly in tune. Pickups, well, you heard them for yourself. They sound, they're very good, and it's fairly noiseless in between. Well, if you're going to compare it to PRS, again, you've got to start thinking about the cost of that. So Silver Sky, the cheaper model, this competes with and probably wins hands down. It certainly competes with Fender Player Series Strats and wins hand down. And in terms of staying in tune and stability, it was competing very well, because I've had, my history, I've had a love-hate affair with Strats, and I've just given up on them, or Fender Strats, I should say. But this is, it sort of covers a lot of bases. It comes with a mahogany body, maple neck, and rosewood fingerboard. And when you think about all of that, the pickups are their own, and as I said, you can judge how good they sound. Well, I don't know how well you're going to hear it on all of this, but I'm going to play it clean in a minute. But you will judge, how it sounds like that, and then I'll finish with a kind of blues and play out. But I would recommend these for the money, definitely. They're made in Indonesia, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, they don't pay like attention that you would expect if you were paying £4,000. I've seen some reviews of these, and people are quibbling about the minorest little niggles. on a guitar that's 360 quid. You know, I don't get it. This will certainly serve you gigging, and it will do most things that you want it to do, and it's no fret buzz anywhere, and I've taken the action fairly low because I like to play fluid lines, and obviously in legato you need it low to be able to do that. Unless you've got massive fingers, and then maybe you could. Let's hear if the sounds clean now. So I'll go to the neck pickup. This is. If I roll the treble off. Take it to, so I call this position 4. Most people, it doesn't matter which way around you think of it, it's these two on together. It's sort of John Mayer. Drop the volume back a bit. Now in the middle, it's interesting, it's quite funky in the middle. It really, works on lead as well, but so that's just this pickup. Now let's move it on to between the neck and the bridge. Now what actually happens here is there is no push-pull on this, but you get that coil on with this one just when it's in what I call, well, it's in between those two anyway, and very quacky. When you're playing clean, this is the humbucker. You know, you can hear, it's quite a crystal thing, and when you drop it off, it doesn't have a treble bleed, so you actually do lose treble when you back off the volume. So that's, it's got a bone nut, and as I said, it stays in tune pretty perfectly without any locking on the tremolo system. What I'm going to do is just find a track to play along to, which I'm sure I'll find in a minute, which just to give you, to just sort of go out on a limb, as I say, so just to play out to. So I'm actually searching now on that. Okay, I found something. So this is a kind of bluesy track. What I'm going to do is just start off clean, and then I'll go to a blues overdriven tone, which is going to be different from the one you had before. But let's just start it off. Some distortion, but as I said, less overdriven than the last one. And that is it. That's my review of the Sire S3 Larry Carlton model. And you know, I think for the price, it's absolutely excellent. You think about the appointments, it's got these rolled edges on it and everything else as well. Anyway, that was my review. Hope you enjoyed it. And might